Welcome to We Are Venomaniacs, the Venom Site's official podcast for all of your symbiote news, reviews, and point of views. My name is Orion, and I'm joined by my fellow co-hosts, Carlos and Tyler. Say hi, guys.
Yo!
Hey!
In this episode, we're reviewing the symbiote comics released in January 2021, including King in Black and its tie-ins. Like last time, we'll be spending the majority of our time reviewing the major issues, and then we'll burn through the tie-ins with rapid-fire reviews. We'll also touch on the earth-shattering announcement regarding the upcoming landmark issue, Venom Number 200. But let's get started with our review of King in Black Number 3. So, Eddie Brock is dead, which, big whoop.
One out.
Yep. And things are looking desperate for Earth. Mr. Fantastic discovers intel from a drive that Wraith had apparently given Eddie at the end of Web of Venom, Wraith. And
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, it reveals the existence of the God of Light that can challenge Null. And somehow, Dylan is connected to this new god. Thor finally arrives on Earth and puts up a valiant fight against Null before falling to the King in Black. But when all hope seems lost and Null is within the grasp of Dylan, the Silver Surfer is revealed to be coming to Earth to help save it from Null. So, yeah, I think that the first thing to talk about is that freaking hiccup in the first page where Mr. Fantastic says, "Oh, here's a drive that Wraith had given Eddie." It's like, we don't recall him ever handing anything to Eddie in that one shot.
Yeah, no, I think it was more, because in the one shot for Web of Venom for Wraith, Wraith before he disappears into thin air, he just warns Eddie that Null's opposite is coming to Earth, and then you just see his hand open up, and it's just like gold dust or something, and then I guess it's just implied that he got this drive, but it was never really established to begin with.
Oh, and also with Dylan, they talk about Dylan's connection to the God of Light. We're just learning this now that's where his powers come from. I never got that intention before.
Yeah, I always thought it was
really big.
It
feels like a really big plot detail to just throw in there.
Yeah. We saw in Venom Beyond that Dylan was definitely connected to Null, and that's been our assumption pretty much since we've learned that Dylan is somehow connected to the symbiotes and everything. It's like, oh, well, his power comes from Null. And we've even seen that in the Good Son and all those other tie-ins. It's like, yeah, it just feels like he's connected to Null, but now he's all of a sudden connected to this God of Light.
It's almost as if he's trying to set up a character so when he starts another book, he can just forget about Venom and write about this new character.
Oh, dang. There's Aaron. Aaron joins us.
Shows up out of nowhere.
Hello, a little late, but yes, I'm here. We're talking about issue 2?
Issue 3, yeah.
Issue 3. Have we talked about the flash drive that
we're talking about that right now, basically, and Dylan's apparent connection to the God of Light out of nowhere?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, in the issue, because I was kind of confused because I wasn't sure at the beginning because I thought it was like Donnie's narration, but then at the end, obviously, oh my god, yeah, Silver Surfer, he comes back, and I wasn't sure if he was the one that passed by Wraith when he was in space, or if it was actually the God of Light. So that part I was a little confused about.
Yeah. My thing is that it seems like Donnie has just used Venom to set up all these other books that he wants to write later on. I mean, we got Silver Surfer, we got Thor. I mean, even then, we even had Sentry in the first issue just sort of thrown in there. And this whole arc hasn't felt, as huge as Absolute, because you didn't have all this buildup from all of these other characters appearing in the Venom book. If we had Thor and Silver Surfer and Sentry show up in the Venom book, then the payoff in this would be amazing. But they just kind of show up hey, look, here's another character that I wrote, who's also tied into Null. But I don't know, man. We're going to talk about them ending, I guess, in a second. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
we'll talk about that towards the end of our reviews and everything. We'll touch
get
on
to
the
that, yeah.
number 200. But yeah, it's just, it feels like, Donnie's kind of throwing things at us out of the blue with issue number 3. Here's like, we have all of a sudden there's a drive that somehow appeared, and then all of a sudden Dylan is connected to the God of Light without any real build up to that. It's very jarring, and like you said, Aaron, this event feels very confined compared to Absolute Carnage. Like, even though the stakes are much larger, and even though Donnie built this up to be a huge event that's going to really shake the world, it doesn't feel like that to me.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, in my opinion, for this so far, issue 3 is probably my favorite, just because of how great the art is for Ryan, what he put into this, and I did love the Thor when he came back to Earth and he confronted Null, and we had that Thor versus Null fight. Mm-hmm. But of course, I wasn't really surprised that Null was gonna pull a hat trick and he grabbed Rafe's symbiote, that sword that he molded into, and then just one-shotted Thor, and that was it. I mean, overall, I love the art in this issue. Like, it's just so fantastic.
Yeah, I think the art throughout the whole mini has been like the highlight of it. I mean, Ryan Stegman is, like we've said in the past, him and Frank Martin on colors, they're firing on all cylinders. The art is gorgeous.
Yeah, they're always on top of their game with this.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Null fighting Thor, is that the actual Necro sword, or is that just a duplicate?
No, it's the one that he made out of Wraith's Exelon symbiote or whatever.
Yeah,
it just made it sound like he had the Necro sword, but I guess he doesn't. But anyway,
yeah. He's just like, oh, you fought someone with the Necro sword. Now you're going to be killed by its creator.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but the art's always amazing. I just, it just feels like now that they had a whole lot more plans. But anyway, we're going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm still enjoying it. I really like the Venom tie-ins. Have we talked about those yet?
Not yet. We just started with number 3.
But yes, so far I'm enjoying it. This is also less fun than Absolute was, especially with the tie-ins. But I guess that makes more sense. But I'm honestly not feeling it now that we know that it's going to end. So
yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. I will touch upon, even though we're going to discuss it later, that them announcing what they did with number 200 kind of took the wind out of the rest of King in Black for me.
Yep.
Especially, the sign language that's been going on between Donnie and Ryan, that they know something that we don't, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
All right, well, let's move on then to Venom number 32. After succumbing to his injuries, Eddie finds himself falling through the afterlife and landing in the ethereal symbiote hive, a spiritual plane connecting every host to have ever worn a symbiote, including those falling under Null's dominion. There, Eddie reconnects with Rex Strickland, who familiarizes Eddie with the rules of the hive and helps him to come to terms with his death. However, Eddie finds that he, as the one person on Earth who has been bonded to the symbiote the longest, he has more control in the hive than anyone else trapped there. Not ready to give up without a fight, Eddie calls upon Rex's help to stop Null. In the end, Rex enlists one of the Venom hosts that he was really looking for all along, Flash Thompson.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
He's back, baby.
Oh, yeah. Well, not really. He's
I mean, look, he's just as alive as Eddie is right now. So that's all I'm saying.
I guess, but his codex was burnt up. It doesn't make any sense. No,
it was a part of. We've been over that.
No.
That was the only part. What was his old codex?
It was burned up. He shouldn't be there. Yeah. But yeah, like, this is the most fun I've had the entire event. Just seeing I'm not dead. I'm the strongest poltergeist Venom. We can do this. We're gonna go up there and show him who's boss. But yeah, man, I mean, it was very fun. I like all of the visuals, especially Seeing the codex, like of the people hanging.
Everyone connected to the hive.
Yep.
Yeah. Man, that's like spooky stuff. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot you can do with this idea, and I really hope in the next issue we see Carnage back.
I'm with you on that. I'm really like with Flash being like as one of the soldiers that's going to help him. Get things back on track. That there's so much potential for what they could bring in with the cameos and whatnot with the next issue.
Like Rex even said, like, we have some friendlies, which means there's some evil people in there. I'm really hoping we see Carnage saying, I'm going to Null, like on the top, like holding up a barrel like King Kong, like, nope, I'm going to throw a barrel. But yeah, like there's so much you could do with this. Like, we could see Pat, we could see like Donna, like you can just have them at the end, like holding them back as Eddie goes up there to save the symbiote. Like that would be amazing. Like this has me the most hyped out of this entire event. It is just seeing what they're going to do with these ghost symbiote people.
Yeah, it could be almost like an end game thing where it's like, oh, on your left, and here comes a bunch of the freaking former hosts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, with this Wednesday coming up, we'll definitely find out. So let's hope that's the case.
I'm ready.
Yeah, watch. There's gonna be one like apology panel for Scorn. It's like, sorry, I went crazy because of Null, but I'm okay now.
Yeah, like what?
I don't know. Like, I mean, I am trying to get my hopes up, but I'm like 85% sure we'll see Carnage, like in some degree.
I would not doubt it.
Now I'll tell you who I don't want to see in the next issue.
Oh no! Please no! Please no!
Don't want to see Lee Price there.
Well, that would work because you have Eddie fighting Carnage, and then you have Flash fighting Lee. So, I mean,
and he destroys the Codex of Lee, so there's nothing of Lee Price left.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I would ever want to see Lee again, is to absolutely erase him.
See his ghost. Yeah.
And as much as I love Flash, even though he is in the same case of Eddie, as they're both like codexes or whatever, I don't think Flash is coming back in this book as much as I would like him to. I still think his resurrection, I think, will still be saved for ASM.
Yeah, which probably
prove me wrong, please.
Not anytime soon.
But I will say, like, in this issue, it was really, really nice and interesting to see how the hive mind really works, how Eddie was able to go to the symbiote afterlife and, meet up with Rex, and seeing how things work in their dimension, as you would say. And once again, even Coelho, like, just nails the art on this, and I'm pretty sure he's going to nail the artwork in issue 33 come this Wednesday. So this was a pretty interesting issue. So yeah.
Yeah. All right.
And as always, Ivan Coelho is an amazing Venom artist. I would love for him to be like on the next creative team.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
But, like, he needs to continue being the Venom boy in Marvel. He's just great.
He's a Stormbreaker after all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like because he's been on Venom for a while now, so yeah, it's kind of weird. But yeah.
All right.
Because he's like Venom bird. Like, but anyway,
Yeah.
all thing like. But yeah, like I've heard of him, but I've not heard of the other people. I'm pretty sure Ivan's been around for a few years, but anyway.
So moving on, let's spend a little bit of time at least reviewing one of the tie-ins that we've been looking forward to, and that's King in Black, Planet of the Symbiotes #1. In the first story by Clay Chapman, and I think I'm going to mess this up, Guy Villanova and Dean White, the Life Foundation symbiotes return to New York under Null's sway to wreak havoc, and only their long-lost sibling, Scream, can stop them. But when the villainous symbiotes amalgamate into a new hybrid and attempt to absorb Scream and Andy into the hive, Andy uses her Hellmark's infernal power to defeat the symbiotes and save a young child from the terror. Then in the second story by Frank Thierry and Danilo S. Beyruth and Rachel Rosenberg, Null arrives at Ravencroft to resurrect Cortland Cassidy as Plague, an eldritch terror of gruesome power. John Jameson and Misty Knight attempt to stop Plague, but when he disappears on a mission to avenge his bloodline and kill Brock, they know that they can't simply hide in Ravencroft from what's happening beyond its walls. So first up, we've got freaking Scream back, which is what we've been really looking forward to.
Plus, a family reunion that's like over 25 years in the making.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah. She got shafted over this whole mess that's happening, and it's not a fair deal that she got canceled, and like we had all this amazing art of her like issue 7, like maybe like getting back to Hellmark and then fighting like Demogoblin, so that whole thing was just kind of dropped. But it was nice to see, the Hellmark, back in this one at least, and Scream back in some fashion or another.
Yeah, it was definitely short and sweet and to the point. No reference, of course, to Clay's previous series with her, Curse of Carnage. It was just very self-contained, and it was just. I think it was a lot of fun.
In his defense, I don't think he'd have time to address anything else because this was only half a story, and he's got to put her into an event.
Yeah.
So
I'm hoping that he'll have at least a little more breathing room with the Scream one shot.
Yeah. But no, I really enjoyed this issue as well. I thought the art was very good at doing like the monstrous. Like he's a very good horror artist. Like he was the same artist, I believe, who did the Web of Venom Wraith issue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and just one of the things I really loved, just in the fight scene was really good, but I really loved the web line of teeth. I just think that's so cool. It's such a cool thing to do symbiotes.
I also noticed that too, yeah.
I guess my thing is that we didn't exactly learn how the 4 came back, and we don't know what their hosts are, and honestly,
well, they pretty much escaped. They pretty much the last time they were in, which was like over a year ago, and then they came back just like, oh, we're here now. Yeah, we're here to spread the word of Null.
Yeah, I would much rather
than Scream was able to take care of.
Yeah, like I'd much rather them stay dead or like just be hybrid, because it's kind of weird to keep track of 4 of them, and I mean,
They do keep making them hybrid, don't they? Like first, then the Maker got hybrid, and now they all combine again to make this horrifying hybrid.
Yeah, so just keep them at, But I mean, maybe wasn't dead for real this time. Who knows?
But wasn't like also Null like talking through them as well, confronting Scream to let her know.
Also, so we haven't seen them like be actually themselves in like years, which also.
Yeah, we got a little hint of that in the one shot of Separation Anxiety, which I really liked.
Yeah.
Because it was like they were trying to help the little girl, even if it was a horrific way to bring the family together. But for this issue, they were sort of just generic Null minions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, and then we had that second story with
Plague.
Yeah, with Plague, Cortland Cassidy, and freaking I think it was Null who said Cortland was his favorite.
Oh, what a bra!
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like that Null kind of has favorites. It gives him some sort of characterization besides big bad eldritch dude. But I mean, it's nice that he likes favorites. I mean, I just don't know what they're going to do with Plague, because the next issue isn't about Plague; it's about USA Godzilla,
American Kaiju, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Maybe Plague will show up in issue number 4 of King in Black, but I don't know.
It is weird because he says he's got like, oh, I want to go get vengeance on Eddie, right?
No. He didn't say Eddie. He just said Brock.
Or Dylan. Like the other ones are just looking for Dylan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing too, right? Because I never read what was the aftermath issue of Ravencroft from Absolute Carnage, and then I'm like, and then Null's just saying, "Oh, no one has ever spread more death and destruction in my name than Cortland Cassidy." But I'm like, look what Cletus did for you in Absolute Carnage. Like, what the hell?
Technically, he always, worship Null, but Cletus didn't always worship Null. So I guess technically, I mean, you could see that. But again, in the Gwen one, he also likes him too. So it's fine.
I feel like my biggest problem with this half of the story is that I don't like the Cortland Cassidy retcon. I'm not a fan, and it's just. Plus, I don't even like this design. This is not a good symbiote design, if you ask me. Really ugly. But not a fan.
I don't even think it's a symbiote. Honestly, it looks too
mystical. Some sort of ghosts payback symbiote kind of thing, But apparently he is popular enough for a Funko Pop. So
except it might even not be him. It's just it's just from the cover, which is basically Cletus. The whole thing.
They said it was Cortland. So Cortland Cassidy Funko Pop coming to you. Hot Topic very soon.
The things we didn't ask for.
I'm still wondering. I don't know if we've said this, but I'm wondering, where is Sleeper?
Where is Sleeper?
Where is he?
You're going to get lucky if you see one panel of him in the main series.
Where is the good boy? Where's he at?
Because I would really love if Sleeper just appears with Scream and fights off their other siblings. That would be really nice.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm thinking maybe Sleeper might show up in Venom. He has all these powers and he can sense ghost hives things. But I don't know. But it just seems oddly weird that they're like writing him out of this. But I don't know. We still got 2 more issues to go.
Yep.
All right. So now that that's done, we'll just speed through the King Black tie-ins for January, and just so you know, so I can get this out of the way, none of the following tie-ins are essential to the main event. So you don't really need to pick them up if you don't want to. You just pick them up if you feel like it interests you. So starting out, we have Black Cat number 2. Is it recommended by us? I think it's pretty recommended.
It's a very fun book.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying it a lot.
It's all around fun, and not only fun, it embraces the crazy.
Yeah.
Anti-Venom Black Cat, yo.
I do wish her costume was a little more symbiotic or original, but I do like it. Sort of takes on aspects of Flash's Agent Anti-Venom costume.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, like with the eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a meanie butt though. She don't like it. The last issue, she says, "Oh, I hate Captain America. He's like such a Boy Scout. Oh, I hate this dude. Oh, I hate Eddie."
Granted, she still said he did still inspire her.
Yeah, but still, she hates everybody. She is not a.
But at least she hates Lee Price more than Eddie Brock.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
And then there was a pretty cool Spider-Man Dune buggy appearance, which was kind of fun in the issue. I kind of had a good laugh. Yeah, the spider buggy.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole chase scene was great. Like running from the dragons and this friggin' wall running car or whatever, wall riding.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. I'm a Funko Pop of Anti-Venom Black Cat.
Yeah. All right, next up is King Black, Return of the Valkyries, number 1. Is it recommended? No, not really. The only noteworthy thing about it is nothing symbiote or King Black really happens, just that this new Valkyrie that they introduced is definitely modeled after Tessa Thompson's MCU character. It's like almost...
It's weird because this is the second Valkyrie that is modeled after Tessa Thompson. Because we got the one from Exiles, which was a buff Tessa Thompson.
You need that... baby, even though no one buys the comics because of it, but whatever.
But I was also confused because that thing they were fighting, that was symbiote related, was it?
No,
like they were fighting like a dead celestial, and they just had this weird goopy skull black things come out of it.
Yeah,
and it was just confusing. I was like, what are these? Not really explained. Sure.
If you care about Century, because apparently he's going to be a little bit more in that. So
yeah, it seems like you're trying to rescue him from whatever this is now.
Yeah.
All right, next up is Guardians of the Galaxy number 10. Is it recommended? Maybe. If you want to see Guardians, if you really want to see Guardians versus Symbiote Dragons, this book is for you. Otherwise, it makes it clear that the Guardians are really going to stay away from Earth during the whole invasion.
Yeah, for me, it was very much like the Amazing Spider-Man tie-in for Absolute Carnage, where it was focusing on its own story but using the King in Black to tell it. And so as myself, I've been loving the Guardians of the Galaxy book by Ewing, and I think this just continues being a great book. But it's not essential for King in Black at all. It's just, hey, they're just fighting a dragon out in space and talking to fighting Null. I really like the line near the beginning. It was like where it's like, this is Null. He's the destroyer of worlds. Nothing survives him. And Richard Rider's just like, I think I had this album.
Edgy boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. And then next up is Daredevil number 26. Is it recommended? I'd say yeah. I think it's probably the most disturbing. It has the most disturbing symbiote designs in this event after the Immortal Hulk tie-in.
Mm-hmm.
Like the the whole mother-daughter thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the two different artists, and who are the artists? It's Chichetto, right? Is the main artist?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I can't remember the second artist. Someone will have to correct me on that. But Chichetto is just a fantastic artist, and he makes the symbiote designs like I've said in the past. I'm not a huge fan of like the nullified looks with just the teeth and stuff, but I have to admit Chichetto does make it look pretty good.
And I guess you should buy this because this is Elektra as Daredevil's second appearance. So those are
honestly, I bought this issue just for the Xenomorph cover.
Yeah. All right. Next up is King in Black Namor number 3. Is it recommended? No. And really,
no. Hell no.
The one thing that both Tyler and I were discussing before that we really had a problem with was it's the present portion of the story is very confusing.
Yeah, there's literally just 2 pages because the whole thing's a flashback of when they were kids, like about the Black Tide or whatever getting turned into Cthulhu monsters. But then there's 2 pages that skip back to the present, except we're not sure if it's the present or a little bit in the future, where after the event has ended.
Yeah, it's because it's the way that they talk about the King in Black event. It's like they're talking about it in the past.
Yeah, I have the panel right in front of me. It says like they're underwater or whatever, and she's like, "The King in Black was a grave threat. To the world. You did what you had to." And he says, "Did I? To face the threat posed by the King in Black, I saw no other option." And so it sounds like Namor like recruited this Black Tide, fought the King in Black, and won, and we're just dealing with the aftermath now. So it was very confusing.
Okay.
Like,
you mean Null doesn't win and destroy Earth? Are you kidding me?
I mean, yeah, we knew that was going to happen. We're like, Null's getting beat somehow, but it's just weird how it didn't even show them recruiting the Black Tide yet. Like I don't understand this book. And unrelated to Null, I hate the fact that there's a part in this book where they build a boat underwater. It's an underwater boat, and Namor is pulling it. Like, why don't you just drag these guys underwater with you? Why are you making a boat? I don't understand this book. I don't like it. I don't care for it.
Doesn't make sense.
Sounds like they could have easily tied it into symbiotes because you just have like Big Mother and just have
seeing Big Mother in the book would have been great. I would have loved that. Like way better.
But okay.
Yeah. All right, well, moving on, is the Union number 2 recommended? Absolutely not. Some symbiote action in the book, but it's clear that this story is definitely separated from the main event, and it's going to have nothing to do with the King.
It was originally supposed to be for the Empire event. I think these are supposed to be plant monsters instead of symbiotes. So, like at one point, they threaten a baby. It's like, why would one of Null's like take a baby hostage?
It doesn't make it. Like all of these tie-ins are useless. But the Absolute Carnage ones were fun at least, but these are just boring and they have nothing to do with.
Like the Absolute Carnage ones, even the ones we weren't huge fans of, like Deadpool versus Absolute Carnage versus Deadpool, that had a reason to exist because Deadpool had the Codex, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like these don't really have. It's like they're just throwing everything in the wall. Big event, let's go. You.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, speaking of
No.
useless tie-ins, we got Spider-Woman number 8, which
I don't even read half, honestly.
Yeah, so it's basically just King in Black is happening in the background, and you don't get anything King in Black wise.
So
Nothing
it's like
symbiote.
More
Hey.
so a cameo scene. That's it. So not really
Yeah, like
worth your time.
So yeah, like it seems like half of these are like, hey, there's one page that has a dragon on it, and like that's it.
Yeah.
yeah, I like the one page when they go to get when they have to fight Stegron, which I do like that. I will add nothing to do with King of Black. Really like that Stegron's in like a tank top and booty shorts.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's like talking to. I'm pretty sure he's talking to Sauron about wanting to make more dinosaur people or not make them. But anyway. I like that the building. It's like they clearly just put like goopy texture over a building. Like I feel like this was a normal book, unrelated to King in Black. And then what happened? They're like, we need to have a King in Black tie-in. And so then all they did was just like scrubbed over the buildings with goop. Like, and then there's one page where she has to. She says like, "Oh, I'm sick of zapping this goop away from the door," and her other hand that's zapping the goop away looks like photoshopped in. So I really think they just added symbiote goo to the building for this book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like something I need to go back and look at because that sounds interesting.
Yeah, because they're literally just driving a car around the city while nothing's happening.
Goop files just copy pasted on. Yeah.
All right. Next up is actually a fun issue, King in Black Thunderbolts number 1. I recommend it. It was actually very surprising how fun it was, and it was definitely inspired by the first Suicide Squad movie, but there's plenty of symbiote action going on.
Yeah, there was some very unique design for Null's army. So I mean, that's
the dragons and the minions.
Yeah,
but no, I'd recommend this as well. It was a lot like I was hesitant going into this because I've read like basically all the Thunderbolts comics. I'm a pretty big Thunderbolts fan, and this really isn't anything to do with the team. It's just like Kingpin literally owns the name right now. So it's like, you guys are Thunderbolts. And he like, I remember this Taskmaster like, are you effing kidding me? Like, so, but no, I also found it weird that he randomly had everyone take off their masks, and for some reason Taskmaster looks like Eddie Brock, even though that is not what Taskmaster looks like.
Yeah, but, a fake mask or something. Like, there's got to be like some like reason behind that. Like they drew him wrong, and they said, "Well, what?"
Yeah, I think I remember the artist on Twitter, Juan Ferreira, I believe his name is, and he just said like, "Oh, I just didn't know what he looked like. I just drew this guy."
Oh, really?
So it's like, yeah, okay. And so it's just kind of. I mean, we're supposed to have editors for that, but who am I to judge?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. It was just to romp through the symbiote city fighting bad guys. And I like the one line from where like Batroc and Taskmaster are talking about a symbiote guy they kill. Like, oh, like this is a symbiote guy or whatever. And he's like, oh yeah, just like Eddie Brock. He's like, wait, there's a guy inside Venom? And then like Taskmaster's like, yeah, it's like Spider-Man's old laundry that he brought back from another planet. And it's like, wait, Venom is Spider-Man's laundry? So I thought that was funny.
Funny stuff, yeah.
All right. Next,
would recommend it.
Yep. Next up is Sword number 2. Is it recommended? No. The only thing is King in Black is just intruding on another ongoing X-Men story, and it really shows.
And there's so many of these, and I buy every single one of them, and I just do not care at all.
Nothing happens at all.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
I'll at least defend the book a little, because I think Ewing's doing some interesting stuff with Sword. Alien threats and all that. This is what they're supposed to take on. It's just that I'm not as huge a fan of the mutant stuff, and it's a very mutant-heavy book. So it's just like, eh.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my thing is like Sword has been around for years, and they've never once done anything about symbiote. So it's like, yeah, it's a little too late, but okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, my thing is I know these are here just to get folks involved in the book and like sort of interested. But I'm just not one of those people who is not interested in these books. So that's just me because like I just buy all of the Venom stuff in order to have it.
I'm buying all of these issues just because I have to follow up with the chronology project, and I'm like, this is the reason I hate buying all these books. Is it just doesn't interest me. I just have to though, just to make sure it gets on the chronology project.
Yep.
All right, next up is Deadpool number 10. Is it recommended? I don't think so. I mean, it's crazy, dumb, fourth wall breaking fun, just typical Deadpool stuff. But
it's just Deadpool being Deadpool.
Yeah.
But there's a symbiote land shark.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If you like Jeff the Land Shark from Gwenpool's book, or from the West Coast Avengers book that lasted like 6 issues or something. Yeah. If you like Jeff the Land Shark and you want to see him get a symbiote, get this book, I guess. That's about all I can say about it.
See, because the cover is even misleading, because I thought it was going to be like an issue where Deadpool's like going to troll and piss off Null or something, being on his throne on the Empire State Building or something like that, but...
No. But I do like the cover, though. I like, is it...
Sandoval, I think, right?
I like his Null on that, but yeah.
All right, next up is King in Black, Venom versus Carnage number 1. Is it recommended? There's really no reason for MJ to be called Carnage in this.
It's so weird though how she just gets introduced into this. I'm like,
y'all know they only did this marketing. They only did it for the marketing. You got to have Gwenom and you got to have Mary Jane Carnage, but it's not our Mary Jane. It's Earth 65 Mary Jane who gets pulled through because the Jackal's messing with Gwen's spiders and Null symbiotes, mixes them together, and then she warps somehow. And he's like, "Oh!"
And she literally just
write that down.
She literally just comes out of Gwen's chest, like some through dimensional thing. I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah, it did. See, I'm all for the idea of the MJ Carnage, and I think even if it's a different MJ and a different Carnage, but then how it happens is just so bizarre. It's just that she gets symbiote spiders dumped on her by the Jackal in the other dimension. And then Gwen tries to use her dimensional watch to travel back to her dimension. And then instead of that happening, for some reason, MJ gets pulled into 616 through Gwen's body. And that makes no sense to me whatsoever. Was this connected to Donnie saying like symbiotes are good for dimensional travel or something? Because we know the Maker showed up there in the Ghost Spider book, right?
I mean, that would make sense. But this whole thing is just... It just made me sad how wasted this entire Gwenom thing is. But because they set up all of this stuff, in the first they said, hey, maybe we go see Eddie Brock about this thing, and they're no, control.
No, because I thought
Elsa Brock gone, and now she has to have it so she has powers, but she just randomly turns into Gwenom at sometimes, and sometimes she gets angry. Well, I don't know. The entire concept is just wasted. But
it also was weird because, just with the coloring, her hood isn't Gwenom the whole time. It's normal Spider-Gwen, while the rest of her is Gwenom.
What the hell was going on with that? Was that on purpose, or they just forget to color it?
I don't know.
See, what this is that when she feels, super edgy, she just turns into Gwenom. But even then, that's lame, because that's happened in the main book a few times.
Well,
she just feels edgy and she turns into Gwenom.
It's just been a little misleading because I thought it was going to be the Grendel Carnage symbiote that was going to fight Gwenom. Nope, it's just Null just picked Earth 65 MJ to be the new Carnage. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever.
I mean, they could have done 616 and they could have done that, but I feel like even then that would have been a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this isn't the first time she's been Carnage, because we had Ultimate Spider-Man. She turned into Carnage and Ultimate Spider-Man. Ooh, yep. She was Spider. Wait, no, she was Carnage Queen. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And folks apparently like that series now, which I don't believe.
No.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
All right. Well,
I I wouldn't say generally they like. I say there's a small fan base for it.
Oh, also, so she's called Carnage because she decides I'm just going to call myself our Null's favorite kid.
Null, I thought Null decides that.
Well, I guess, sure. Well,
Yeah,
he says we, so it's not really Null talking. It's more like the symbiote's like, oh, well, we're going to name ourselves after our god's favorite kid. So it's kind of weird. You know what I mean? But anyway, she says, I'm going to be Carnage because that's our god's favorite character. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. But still, though, where is Carnage? I mean, because Donnie said we're going to see that Carnage shark come back. And it doesn't look like we are. So.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Moving on, we got Savage Avengers number 17. It's not recommended, and the only thing I would say this has for it is that it's a nice callback to the first arc of the series, because the nameless symbiote kind of comes back as the codex within Conan. But otherwise, Deadpool's inclusion in the story really conflicts with his solo series, King in Black tie-in, the one we just talked about. It just doesn't make sense to me, and it's just, once again, Savage Avengers is just confusing the chronology to the point of becoming unclear whether this series even is canon.
Yeah, like again, this just also makes me sad that we barely saw Venom and the Savage Avengers at all, because I was all about Eddie being in a team book, and it just never happened. But the book's been kind of meh, so I guess I'm kind of happy that.
Yeah, it's basically just a Conan guest star book.
Yep.
Which Marvel heroes does Conan team up with today? That's literally all it's been the entire time.
I feel like they would have sold more issues if they called it Conan.
Team up.
Yeah.
Conan Marvel team up.
No, yeah, just call it.
I gotta say, separate from the symbiote stuff, I thought the stuff with like Deadpool getting shoved through the bars was kind of funny, with like Conan just like stomping him through the cell bars.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, this whole book has been in a weird state of limbo where it's like not really. I don't know what they're doing with this. I just don't care about it.
And I think it's really telling that the series has not even been uploaded to Marvel Unlimited yet.
Which I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, it has
got to be.
Not a single issue has been uploaded to Marvel Unlimited.
Do you think it's to do with a rights issue with Conan?
I don't know.
Yeah, like what it is, but I mean that's still weird. Well, you know what? Hold on. So y'all keep talking, and I'm going to see if there's any Conan books on Marvel Unlimited.
Any Conan at all? Okay, but
yeah, yeah. So I mean, I'll agree that I think the fun part about this issue was definitely Conan kicking Deadpool through the cell bars. That was just that was fun.
There is no Conan now. Wasn't it Secret Wars or something? Like, wasn't there an issue where
he was in Avengers: No Road Home?
Okay,
well, look that up.
All right. Well, y'all keep talking because I don't want to keep.
Yeah.
Well, I see issues 1 through 10 on here, so I guess he does appear in this. But anyway, it's just kind of weird.
Yeah,
it's just weird.
Yeah. Well, otherwise, yeah, from the chronology project perspective, I stopped including Savage Avengers in the project. It's just it's difficult to tell where exactly it takes place in the larger Marvel universe. So I'm just I'm not even including it anymore. And then lastly, we have Symbiote Spider-Man King in Black number 3. I still think it might be essential reading. We still need to see because we're 3 issues. I don't know, because we're 3 issues into the main King in Black event, and Black Knight and his Ebony Blade have not shown up yet. But Black Knight's tie-in comic comes out, I believe, next week or just this next month.
Just read the tie-in comic then. Don't read the stupid past story that doesn't even matter. I can't stand these dumb minis.
Venom's going to come out and say, "Oh, I know there's Null, so in the future I'll be ready." No, they're just not going to remember. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Just not to mention, this is just another Marvel team up. Like we got we got Kang, we got Watcher, we got Monica Rambeau, we got Rocket Raccoon. Now we got Ulik the Troller. Like, I don't care. This is dumb.
Yep.
I mean, I'm still reading it, just so yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a thing. It's a thing that's going on, people. It's a thing.
Once again, I'll just ask, where's the demand for these symbiote Spider-Man books?
Apparently there is. We keep buying them.
Look. Well, I mean, I'll give me the what if. Make this an alternate universe. I'll be more interested or like more forgiving.
I mean, well, we are getting Spider-Man the Shadow one where he.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Give me more of that.
Yeah.
Not this.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for the tie-ins, and we're gonna go ahead and move on to the big bombshell. Since Donny Cates first started teasing Venom number 200, which will follow right after the end of King in Black, he's made big promises that nothing would ever be the same for Venom. This landmark issue has been advertised as a big moment for the series, and last week the levee broke in an unexpected way with Donny and Ryan's surprise announcement that this issue would be the last of their series, ending their run with Venom. We still have no clues as to how things will end, and we don't have any details on how the issue's story are practically non-existent at this point. But the news of Donny and Ryan's departure has definitely set the Venomaniac community ablaze with speculation. The questions on everyone's minds now are, is this truly the end? And what's next for Venom? And
yeah,
I will admit, I had a little bit of despair when I first heard it. I was like, ah, shit. It's like, because Donny has been saying, his Venom story is like, he's got years of story, planned out.
We have multiple tweets upon tweets of him reassuring Venom is happening after King in Black.
Yeah.
And then on Twitter, I mentioned that tweet, and then he says, "Oh well, haha, it actually does end at Venom 200." Ha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I don't know, but you can. Yeah.
But like I said, I despaired at first, but then of course got me speculating because all they said was this is the end of their run with Venom, and they said in Venom number 200, it's going to change Venom forever. So I'm thinking, they might be done with the title Venom, but they're not done with Eddie Brock and the symbiote. Something's happening.
That's what I'm also thinking. But I just don't know if they can move away from the branding of Venom. I'm at that point where, of course, I'm going to live. Like, I'm not going to be, bursting into tears because the Venom runs over. Donny has done a lot of good work, and I don't doubt his love for the character. I just find this completely odd if this is really the end.
And,
maybe at some point he just sort of realized, this is the high ground. I have already set up all these other things that I want to do within the Venom book, so I can just head on, because he's still going to do work for Marvel. He said he's doing Thor and maybe something else. So he's still going to be there, but he's just set up all of these things that he wants to do inside the Venom book, and now he can just let someone else do it and do whatever else he wants to do. But I don't know.
I'm again, I'm not really surprised. They're claiming that issue 200. For me, I'm very much looking forward to issue 200. But at the same time, there's still something that they're not telling us, because I watched their or I didn't watch. I heard their latest podcast episode, and you can clearly tell they have something going on.
Yeah.
So maybe they might something new, a new series, and then maybe the
Venom Space God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
that's
it's definitely in line with what Donny has been trying to do with the Venom series since the beginning. He's been trying to move Venom away from his association with Spider-Man, trying to uncouple Venom from Spider-Man and make him his own character. And I think this is the big step for him. After Venom number 200, we're going to see Eddie Brock finally, become his own hero, and that will probably come with a name change.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Oh, I really hope we don't get the reveal of the Venom symbiote's real name. I don't know how I feel about that.
They get the reveal of the Venom symbiote's real name, and then that's what the new series is called.
Yeah, exactly what I was saying. Yeah.
I mean, that's the best I can hope for. I mean, I really hope Donnie isn't done because, like I've said, he is one of the few people who actually love Venom and Eddie Brock. Like he's done more for the character than I would even say than Michelini has. So I don't want to see him go because he really loves the character, even though he does all this bad stuff to him. Like he still writes him well, and the
character writing is on point. Like we've said, this is the best development Eddie's gotten in an incredibly long time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
And so I'm myself, I'm of two minds about it. I don't know if they're going to continue something. It sounds like the Venom book is going to continue in some capacity. They said they know who the next creative team is, I think, and it's just so. But I could see him faking it out. But it is also weird that they said that King in Black was Act 2 of the thing, and then they're like, oh, no, or they said it was Act 2, but they're like, no, actually it's Act 3. And then, but it's weird because they're like, oh yeah, we had to lie because Marvel won't let us tell everything. Except Ewing has said, oh yeah, I'm going to be eventually finishing my run. I can't say exactly what I do, but yeah, we're going to be done. So it's like I'm so confused, and I have to wait and see.
Yep.
That's all we can do.
Now they did announce that
speculating.
They did announce that the Venom series will be begun again with a new creative team, so we could very well be seeing two series coming out, one following Eddie Brock in his new form, and then a new Venom book, possibly. My hope is that the fact that Donnie introduced this alternate universe Anne Whiting.
She's not coming back.
I'm hopeful. I am hopeful that she does come back, and this is the main. If
anyone's coming back, it's Flash.
Nah, you said it yourself. You said it yourself earlier in this podcast. You said, "Oh, I don't think he's coming back."
Oh,
yeah,
please.
But I think Agent Venom Anne is going to happen even less. That's what I'm saying.
There's no way.
Everyone's against Orion.
but I hope to God, because Tyler, I remember you linked an article saying how Bendis is not going to be a DC. I hope to God he does not be the new writer. No, please don't jinx it.
I won't let him.
You can ruin Dylan like you did all the other Super Sonics.
He ages Dylan up.
I mean that wouldn't be too bad. I think you could have him as Venom and Eddie up in space doing his space god thing and his Unicron ball of symbiote.
But whatever. Well, because the cover, I really love issue 200's cover. So could it be possible that Eddie might be the new god of the symbiotes? Maybe, perhaps.
And it's going to be a poster. Well, that's what's going to happen. King in Black isn't Null. At the very end, it's going to be, oh well, actually, Venom was the King in Black the entire time. Woo! That's going to happen.
And then
King in Black was the friends we made along the way.
Yes, and then not only that, we already know, even though Null is defeated in King of Black, he's not dead. We have that Venom 2099 issue that states...
No, they forgot about that.
No,
I think they really did. I think they forgot about all of that.
No.
Oh, yeah, Donnie said he was going to show up, but I think they just scrapped it. No.
Yeah, with all the COVID stuff happening, I think that was just a scrap plan.
I think it was also kind of a dumb idea too.
Oh, you know what? How about for the new Venom series? They get that Venom 2099. Which is basically a female version of Movie Eddie.
Well, I'm going to say this one more time. I'm going to be pissed off if for the third time they make a new Venom number 1. What's up?
Yeah.
And it's a new host.
Number 1.
Well, I'm sure.
Aaron, I think. I think you.
I
you
think
did
that's what
yourself, Aaron?
Aaron. I think that's what Aaron was
Yeah.
trying to say. Yeah, new
So they made
host.
again, and like Eddie Brock's on the cover. Like this is the fourth time this has happened, and it's not Eddie Brock. Because like what happened? Like like the Daniel Way run was Eddie Brock on the cover, but it wasn't Eddie Brock.
Look, it's just going to be
last
Lee
time-
Price, but he's wearing a mustache. It's like I'm Bree Mice.
Yeah, I'm gonna be pissed off if they do that. But anyway, like I want that Venom, like 200 poster they're making. Like I want that because that's.
Oh, I'm pre-ordering that for sure. So
yeah,
Just make it Venom 201. I don't want a new number one. They're going to do a new number one, but I don't want it. I just continue Legacy just like normal.
And we're really not sure if this is issue. Well, I mean, we have the same. I mean, we have the same issue with 150, where there's all these other books where it could technically not be 150.
Yeah, because I remember you trying to like, should I put Venom versus Carnage? Should I count those issues as part of it, or should I count this other mini as part of it? I remember you doing that.
Yeah, like some of these don't count, so it's like, whatever. I'm fine.
Big number, Aaron. Big number.
Big number. Big number sells book.
big 200.
Oh yeah. So one thing I am also happy we finally got a variant from the Mr. Garson. So Mr. Garson who made the amazing 700 like collage,
and then he also did the Marvel Comics 1000 variant.
But yeah, like he had a Venom one like from maybe 6 years ago that was amazing, and it had like all of like.
But is this one more updated? Is it updated now?
No. Like this is still the same one from years ago, which another variant cover is like also a very old piece of Venom art. So that kind of makes me think this was. Well, no, like they always said they had a thing for like Venom 200, but I mean it was just kind of weird that the first two variants are like really old artwork. But anyway.
Yeah, but I think it's cool. You got a bunch of classic Venom on there. You got Agent Venom. Even a Gargano 2.
Yeah, like it stops after Agent Venom. Like I think
there was Superior Spider-Man was on there, so that was like Superior Venom, I should say. So, but I guess that was still during Agent Venom's time. So. Yeah.
So not anything past it though, but it's still a cool cover, and I hope they make a poster, but I don't think they will because they're already doing one or the other. But I really like the collage. So
yeah, no, I love the collage.
Yeah.
The cover I'm probably going to be getting.
Well, that like I said earlier, that I think it was almost like midweek, or it was probably Tuesday. They made the announcement about they're done after Venom number 200. That definitely for me took the wind out of the rest of King of Black. I'm like, I'm just, I've been saying since even before King of Black, I'm like, I'm done with King of Black. I'm so tired of Null, and I'll be happy if we're finally done with him.
Yeah. See, that's the weird thing too. I find it very odd that they kind of announced it was ending right in the middle, and kind of already spelled out what's going to happen. Like I feel like if it was actually going to end at 200, they would have said that a while ago. Like Donnie was said, all right, guys, after this event, we're going to be done, or things are going to be winding down. But he just kept on saying, oh, like there's more after this. There's more after this. There's more after this.
Yeah, I think Marvel had to tell him to tell the fans, lie about it. But
I mean, I don't know.
They're trying to keep a schedule, I suppose. But
like I don't want to get into like conspiracy theories, like blah 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 blah. But I just think something had to happen that they're not telling us. I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to live either way. It's just I'd rather not see this team go right now.
I mean,
like they're at the height of all this Venom stuff. Like
we're definitely gonna see what's gonna happen. I mean, there's gonna be an announcement coming soon, hopefully. So
yeah, like another thing is like, let me say this and I'll be done. I promise. Is that I really wanted to see Donnie write stuff about Venom that's not connected to Null in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
that's done for over 50 issues, and I would rather see him what he can do with Eddie as just like a
street level,
like the protector character.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's going to happen now, unfortunately, but
yeah,
I'll live.
Yep. All right, well, I think that wraps things up for the first episode of 2021. Now, though we announced in our last episode that we, our Venomaniacs, will be going on a hiatus after our 50th episode at the end of March, we may give you all one more episode after that just to cover Venom number 200 and the final, if late, King in Black tie-in, Avengers number 45. But until then, look forward to our next episode covering the comics of February 2021. You can listen to We Are Venomaniacs on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Music and iTunes, Audible, and YouTube. We can also be found on Twitter at WAV_podcast. Check us out on our Discord server where you can geek out with the community of Venomaniacs like us. And as always, thank you to my fellow co-hosts, Carlos, Tyler, and Aaron for joining me today.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And thanks to the Venom site for permitting us to take this to make this podcast under the TBS banner and all of your generous support. And finally, thank you, loyal listeners and fellow Venomaniacs. You guys make an awesome community, and it's an honor to be your voice on the airwaves. Together, we are Venomaniacs.